crying out for peace. A ceasefire is possible in Sudan, but could it last? Tom Gardner, Africa correspondent, The Economist. For some Sudanese, around 2 million of them, according to the UN, 2025 brought a measure of respite. Over the previous year, the country's civil war had grown to become perhaps the biggest and most devastating in the world. But the recapture of Khartoum, the capital, in March by the Sudanese armed forces was a turning point. As many as 500,000 people returned to the city in the month of July alone. The optimism among the SAF and its supporters was such that some reckoned the army might soon deal a final blow to the Rapid Support Forces, the paramilitary group vying with it for control of Africa's third largest country. Yet the RSF soon fought back, more vigorously than even the pessimists might have foreseen. Armed with drones acquired with the help of the United Arab Emirates, its chief foreign backer, the RSF swiftly took the war to the skies. Port Sudan, the SAF's base and Sudan's de facto capital since a few months after war erupted in 2023, came under fire for the first time. After retreating from Khartoum and regrouping in its home region of Darfur, the RSF regained momentum on the battlefield. In June, its fighters advanced into the strategic borderlands between Sudan and its northern neighbors, Libya and Egypt, capturing an army garrison and an important smuggling route. The escalation added to already widespread fears that the war is morphing into a broader regional conflagration. The RSF's advance involved some of the bloodiest massacres in nearly 3 years of war. In El Fasher, the besieged capital of Darfur, which the RSF finally took full control of in October, civilians mostly from local African ethnic groups were butchered. As many as 1,500 may have been killed in a single assault in April by the RSF, which emerged from the Janjaweed, an ethnically Arab militia that terrorized Darfur in the 2000s. Hundreds are believed to have been killed in RSF raids on villages in Kordofan in July. Various putative peace talks, in London, Washington, and Geneva, failed in 2025. But things may look different in 2026. Donald Trump, ever keen on winning a Nobel Peace Prize, and fresh from his successes in the Middle East and his administration's partial success in brokering a truce between Rwanda and Congo, has signaled an interest in a Sudanese deal too. A proposed meeting of foreign ministers from Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE in July was called off, reportedly because of disputes over the wording of a joint statement. But it offered a hint of what America might deliver were it to make Sudan a priority. It is still the only actor theoretically able to force the war's belligerents, and their foreign backers, into the same room. It would therefore be rash to rule out a ceasefire in Sudan. The RSF, which announced a parallel government headed by its commander, Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, now controls a landlocked rump state. Some analysts reckon its leaders would happily sign a peace deal which carves up Sudan's minerals, above all its gold, and grants a share of power at the center. But a truce, followed by a power-sharing deal that divvies up the spoils, is not the same as a lasting peace settlement. The RSF and the SAF are both, to some degree, kleptocratic cartels with factions that have done well financially out of the war, notably by dealing in gold, which also buys arms and influence. The RSF, in particular, is made up of mercenaries lured into the fight by the prospect of loot. If peace puts them out of business, they could act as spoilers to any deal. No less worrying is the prospect of a transactional, Trumpian deal that keeps the kleptocrats happy but ignores civilians. Such a deal might silence the guns, but it is unlikely to bode well for Sudan in the long run.